Welcome back. We're ready for the second debate. Just before that, I'd like to say thank you very much to our crew, Chef Podri and Yvonne Okhaifo, producing the package, producing the debates alongside Prince Obong-Daniels and, of course, Carl Orakwe and all the teams, Emmanuel Elefizi, Abimbola, Gabriela, Daniel. Thank you very much for all the hard work. Also, our content and digital team members, Babatunde Abdul Salam leads our streaming. Kenneth Odueme, Olamide Fajo Juice, Samuel Iwuji, ensuring you see us everywhere. Mika Eledan, who is in charge of the production for this, alongside the other members of our various teams. Special thanks to our partners for these debates. We appreciate all of you. Obi Weezy, a long-standing partner for your gadgets of any kind. They're your guy. You can check out their website. It's obiweezy.com. You can visit them on Instagram. It's at Obiweezy backup page. Also, to Call to Fly. They partnered with us to transport debaters from out of towns. They cater to all your air transportation needs. Everything from flight ticketing, hotel reservation to freight and logistics. We appreciate them. Special thanks to Olaya Foods for catering to our students, both the house students from out of town, and also providing lunch for the Lagos-based contestants. Catering of all kinds, that's what they do. Local delicacies, indeed. They have outlets at Lekki, VI, Surulere, and Ikeja, and of course, you can order online. Search for Olaya Foods and Catering. Of course, special thanks also to Beloxi. They provided a tasty range of cookies for these young students. And how can I leave out our guest institution, Chrisland Schools, accommodating our debaters from across the country. They've been in the education business for nearly 5 decades. They've got 6 nursery and primary schools. They've got 6 secondary schools and a 6th form college, and of course a university. We are getting set to meet our 2 contestants. Thank you to all our partners and sponsors and all our crews. Remember, we are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, and there is conversation on Twitter. I would suppose perhaps the YouTube, I'm not sure, but perhaps the YouTube live stream is probably embedded on X. I'm not sure, but go to our handles. It's Nigeria Info on YouTube and also Nigeria Info. Search for us on WhatsApp. Follow the live stream. Remember, you get to vote. There will be opportunities for you to vote for either of the next 2 contestants. If you followed us online for the first debate, that feed has ended. Please refresh your device. A new feed is up. We are not where we were for the first debate. A second feed.
Yes, that's right. Also follow Nigeria Info I Beg to Differ on Instagram at Nigeria Info IBTD. Okay. Follow Nigeria Info I Beg to Differ. It's really important because all the content from the debates will be posted on that Instagram handle, will be posted to that Instagram handle. So go there, follow, and of course, stay glued.
And if you want to be a partner or sponsor of this national final, send an email to us using this email address. It's info@nigeriainfo.fm.
Correct.
info@nigeriainfo.fm.
Well, it is time to meet our debaters for this hour.
Brilliant. 2 contestants, both 15 years of age, both SS3 students, but both of them from different locations. First, I'll introduce Bedford Friday Fortune. She's a 15-year-old SS3 student of Carrington International Academy, Port Harcourt. Welcome to this debate, Fortune. How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Are you ready for this?
Yes, I'm ready.
Our opponent You saw him in season 6 of the Lagos Regional Finals. He's an SS3 student of Lead-Forte Gate College, Lagos. He's 15 years of age, as I said earlier. His name is Oluwalade Demilade. How are you doing, Demilade?
I'm doing well today, thank you.
It's so good to have you with us again.
Yeah, same here.
This second debate is ready to start. Are you ready, though?
I am ready. I'm sure they are as well. I'm sure the audience itself or themselves are ready for the debate. Well, the topic for this hour is the creation of a livestock ministry by the Nigerian government a necessary step for agricultural development and food security? One person will say no. Creating a livestock ministry is not necessary for agricultural development and food security. The other will say yes, indeed. Creating this livestock ministry is necessary to attain agricultural development and food security. We will now find out how both debaters will argue this evening. Remember, you were both told to prepare for both sides of the topic. Well, it is time to decide what side you will debate.
And as that ritual commences, a quick reminder, you'll be awarded points based on the number, quality, and originality of every unique point you make. You'll each get 3 minutes during each of the 3 rounds. Now, during the rebuttal round, remember, you must first refute your opponent's points before you raise new points. Okay? We'll score you based on the strength and originality of those rebuttals, by the way, similar to your original points. If you do repeat a point already raised during your presentation, you may or may not be awarded extra marks, depending on whether or not you bring a fresh angle to that point. And the judges will also judge your style based on the eloquence of your presentation. And of course, we'll be paying attention to your closing. Presentation and closing. Pay particular attention to those. Should you tie, we'll go into a tiebreaker round. You switch sides. You will argue in the same position your opponent had argued for 5 minutes, one off, and then we'll decide.
Right. Well,
Beautiful.
let's now find out how both of them picked. I will start with the lady to my left, Fortune. What side will you argue this evening?
I'll be supporting the motion.
So you will say yes, creating a livestock ministry is necessary.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And Oluwalade Demilade will say no. Creating a livestock ministry is absolutely unnecessary for the development of agriculture and food security. Well, they know their sides, they know the topic. It is time to debate.
Let's do this.
Let's do this. We will start with the motion supporter, Fortune. You will get 3 minutes to open your argument.
We can't hit below the belt when it comes to issues regarding agriculture, which settles the basic need of man. Elder judges, the moderator, presenter, co-debater, listeners and viewers, good day. I am Bedford Friday Fortune from Carrington International Academy in Port Harcourt. I am here to state unequivocally clear that the creation of livestock ministry by the Nigerian government is a necessary step for agricultural development and food security. Firstly, I would like to define livestock as domestic animals that are raised in an agricultural setting to provide labor and produce diversified products for food consumption. Example, meat, egg, etc. I would also like to define livestock ministry, also known as animal husbandry, as government department responsible for development and maintenance of livestock sector within a country or region. My points are: 1. Food security. The livestock ministry will ensure steady supply of meat, dairy, and other farm products for food consumption. We all know that food is the first basic need of man. 2. Economic growth. The livestock ministry will contribute significantly to national economy through livestock processing, production, and trade. 3. Rural livelihood. The creation of livestock ministry by the Nigerian government will support rural livelihoods and income generations for farmers and pastoralists. 4. Nutrition and animal health. The livestock ministry will provide essential sources of nutrients and proteins for human health and well-being. 5. Employment opportunities. Livestock ministry will create job opportunities in livestock production, processing, and marketing. 6. Sustainable agriculture. Livestock Ministry will promote integrated farming activities and sustainable agricultural practices according to Food and Agricultural Organizations, FAO. 7. Environmental management. The Livestock Ministry will help in maintaining ecosystem balance and mitigate environmental impact on livestock production. 8. Animal welfare. Humane treatment and welfare of animals will be ensured through livestock production. 9. Research development. Livestock Ministry will facilitate innovations and improvements in livestock production and productivity. And 10. International trade. Livestock Ministry will ensure global comprehensiveness and trade in livestock products. Example, hide and skin. With these and even more points to come, I believe I have convinced my opponents, my listeners, and my judges beyond all doubt that the creation of livestock ministry by the Nigerian government is a necessary step for agricultural development and food security. Thank you.
Brilliant opening round. Bedford Friday Fortune. She's 15 years of age. Carrington International Academy is in her final year. And if I am not mistaken, Fortune had been a champion of one of the debates in Port Harcourt. Is that correct, Fortune?
Yes, sir.
Season 2. Strong opponent, no doubt. Her opponent is Oluwalade Demilade, another strong debater, 15 years of age, student, SS3 student of Lead-Forte Gate College.
Well, Oluwalade Demilade will now get 3 minutes to open his argument.
Good day, Chairman, panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, my co-debater, and ever-listening audience. My name is Demilade Oluwalade, and I'm here to oppose the motion that states the creation of a Ministry of Livestock is necessary for the agricultural development and food security of Nigeria. In early July, President Tinubu revealed his plans for a new Ministry of Livestock. The Ministry of Livestock, as well as its predecessor, the Renewed Hope Livestock Reform Implementation Committee, aims to improve the availability and quality of livestock products in Nigeria, as well as solve the long-standing conflict between cattle herders and farmers of the Middle Belt. However, I believe that this project does not cover the root causes of the problems facing the agricultural industry in our country and may ultimately be doomed to fail. This, of course, starts with the sheer cost of this program. As of right now, the cost of just setting up this ministry stands at 75 billion naira, without even including the cost of equipment, training, manpower, infrastructure, and industry, to name a few things. This will almost inevitably be financed by debt from other nations, as investors, both foreign and domestic, may be chased away by the high risk. As always with these things, the debt burden will inevitably be shifted onto the common Nigerian, which will end up making food products less affordable rather than more affordable. This stems into two closely related points. First, many people will say that this high cost is necessary for such a huge development in Nigeria's economy. However, the alternative may be much more valuable. For example, taking an average cost of 10 million naira per acre, for example, this 75 billion naira scheme may alternatively finance 7,500 fully functional acres of rice farmland. Is that really worth the cost of just setting up a ministry, especially in such dire times for our country? Then, of course, there's the all-encroaching problem of corruption within Nigerian ministries. It is well known that Nigerian ministries are very prone to misallocation or mismanagement of funds, and this new undeveloped ministry is not likely to be very different from its predecessors or its partners. Of course, this ministry may also not tackle the problem of insecurity within the farming regions between Middle Belt farmers and herders, because it does not address the root problem that is driving them together, which is the desertification of northern Nigeria, which drives Fulani herdsmen southward and into conflict with... Thank you.
You didn't land.
Remember to land. Into conflict with what?
Conflict between Fulani herdsmen, and middle belt farmers.
Okay, beautiful.
When you hear the bell, land.
Okay.
And say thank you. Okay?
Don't hang your point.
All right.
Don't leave us
mid-sentence.
hanging.
All right. Thank you very much. You've had the opening rounds of Fortune and Demilade. We will go straight into the rebuttal rounds.
Yes, we will. Well, for this round, we will revert to the motion opposer, Oluwalade Demilade. You will now get 3 minutes to refute your opponent's points. Remember, you first refute your opponent's points before adding extra points of your own. Your time starts now.
All right, standing on existing protocol today, I will continue to support the motion to oppose the motion that states the creation of a Ministry of Livestock is necessary for agricultural development and security in Nigeria. First of all, you brought up that this ministry will ensure a steady supply of livestock products in Nigeria. However, I beg to differ with this, because look at examples of other ministries in Nigeria, such as PHCN, which provides power, or NIHSA, which provides water services. Are they consistent in the supply of their services? I do not think so. Then you mentioned the economic growth, which may be true, but many other things in this country, many other projects that have been developed in this country are merely white elephant projects meant to be a grand display of the goodness and virtue of the reigning regime without really doing anything once it has been released. And this is going to be a likely scenario for this ministry and many projects it sets up. Then you mentioned the development of rural livelihoods. However, this ministry will most likely fail to raise the income of rural farmers because the cost of developing, the cost of improving the livestock sector may be too much for these people. Many of these rural farmers hardly have any capital to their name, and so they will either have to take on large amounts of debt or impossible amounts of savings to be able to afford what this ministry is offering them. Then you brought up how it will increase employment within the sector. However, once again, I would like to bring up the utter incapability of several Nigerian sectors, several Nigerian ministries to be able to deliver on many promises such as employment opportunities or development. Then you mentioned how it will improve the environment. Once again, I would like to bring up the desertification problem that this ministry has failed to even address at all. Then you brought up how it will improve the welfare of animals, which is unlikely to happen as that would require a lot of investment into the education of farmers, into responsible mass farming on ranches, which this ministry is not aimed at doing. It is rather aimed at acquiring land for animal herders, which is extremely bad for animal welfare. Then you mentioned research and development for livestock farming. However, this ministry has not proven capable or shown any signs of being able to collect any data that is useful for developing the livestock sector. And finally, you mentioned increase in international trade.
All right, we have to stop right there. Round of applause, please. Thank you. Thank you very much. So the rebuttal round's over for Demilade. It's now time for Fortune to rebut his own point.
Fortune, you have 3 minutes to do so.
Permission to stand on existing protocols. I remain Bedford Friday Fortune. I am here to present my rebuttal raised by my opponent, Demilade. Firstly, you talked about cost of food products. Don't you think that because the ministries are too small to take care of all those food products, dividing them by creating new ministries would lead to the deflation of food products? You also talked about mismanagement of funds. This is because the ministries are the things that the ministries are to take care of are too much, and that's why we need to create new ministries so that they can be able to take care of all the funds and everything. You also talked about ministries that are not carrying out their functions to do. This is because, like I've already said, the things that they have to take care of, livestock, crops, and other things in the agricultural sector, is too much for just one ministry to take care of. That's why we need to create new ministry like the livestock ministry so that these things can be carried out. You also talked about corruption. I also say that corruption can be, you can see corruption just because other people are feeling like it's just the agriculture and rural development ministry that can take care of these things. But by the time you create new ministry like the livestock ministry, you see that this corruption is going to fade away. Furthermore, I would like to anchor my arguments with these points. 1, disease control. A dedicated ministry can better manage animal diseases, leading to reduce on disease outbreaks and promoting livestock healthiness. 2, improve productivity. A specialized expertise can enhance livestock productivity, leading to increased meat, dairy, and other farm product output. 3, focused attention. Livestock ministry will give a focused attention to the livestock sector, leading to target policies and programs. 4, capacity building. The creation of ministries, training programs, and educational initiatives can empower farmers to improve practices and contribute to food productivity. 5, poverty reduction. Livestock ministry will help in poverty eradication efforts of the Nigerian government by providing income opportunities for marginalized communities. 6, climate change mitigation. The livestock ministry will help in reducing greenhouse gases in the environment, thereby through production of livestock sustainability. Thank you.
Well done. We will take a quick break. When we come back, you will hear the closing round of the debate. This is Nigeria Info's I Beg to Differ Debate National Tournament of Champions. Stick around. Day 4 of Nigeria Info's I Beg to Differ Tournament of Champions will pit fan favorites against one another. At 4 o'clock, Handsome Emerald and Ogunaye Ayomide will face off on the topic, should career choices be driven by personal interests or job market demands? At 5 o'clock, Bedford Friday Fortune and Oluwalade Demilade will go head-to-head on the topic. Is the creation of a livestock ministry by the Nigerian government a necessary step for agricultural development and food security? So far, judges have picked 3 wildcards and have 1 more slot to give. Who will get it? Well, I am Yvonne Okhaifo. Join Femi, Obong-Daniels and me to find out on Thursday. Nigeria Info's I Beg to Differ Tournament of Champions. 16 debaters, now 13. 1 winner, 2 million naira. For sponsorship, send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm. I Beg to Differ, a tournament of champions.
Welcome back. We are set for the closing arguments between our 2 contestants for the final debate of the first round of the Tournament of Champions, the national finals. It's 15-year-old Fortune, Bedford Friday. Yes. She is an SS3 student of Carrington International Academy in Port Harcourt, as well as 15-year-old SS3 student Oluwalade Demilade of Lead-Forte Gate College, Lagos. Closing arguments, 3 minutes apiece. Let's finish.
Yes, we will revert to the motion, supporter. You have 3 minutes now, Fortune.
All protocols duly and respectfully observed, I remain Bedford Friday Fortune, and I would like to draw some conclusions from my arguments by saying the creation of livestock ministry by the Nigerian government extends beyond livestock sector as it contributes to broader goals of food security and sustainable agriculture. The promotion of livestock production can lead to better market access, increasing income opportunities and economic growth. The livestock ministry will establish regulations and standards in livestock production, leading to increased milk, meat, dairy, and farm output. Just so you know, some of the goals of the Nigerian government livestock ministry are: 1. Encouraging sustainable livestock production, and practices. 2. Regulating in livestock industries, thereby curtailing clashes between herdsmen and farmers. 3. Providing extension services and training programs for farmers. 4. Conducting research development in livestock sciences. And 5. Collaborating with international organizations such as the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IITA, the Food and Agriculture Organizations, FAO, etc. for global cooperation. The importance of livestock ministry can and will not be overemphasized. Thank you.
All right, she rests her case. That is Fortune. How about a round of applause? Thank you very much. And could you, ladies and gentlemen, make it spontaneous? Thank you very much.
All right, now we will go straight to the motion opposer, Oluwalade Demilade. It is time to rest your case.
Standing on existing protocol, I would like to conclude my opposition to the motion of the necessity of a livestock ministry in Nigeria. I would like to do so by bringing back up the point I was unable to finish earlier, which was on severe opposition to this program. Of course, this is not the first program aiming to improve livestock infrastructure and to reduce insecurity in the Middle Belt. As we may remember, Buhari's regime tried to do that with the 2015 to 2021 Makban program, which was highly resisted by several Middle Belt states, especially the state of Benue. And this current program is not only being opposed by several states, but also by Makban itself, which is the Association of Cattle Herders throughout northern Nigeria. Makban has rather called for a much more sensible plan for a Ministry of Livestock and Fisheries, for a much more holistic approach to animal farming in Nigeria. Then, of course, there is the issue that this problem of violence in the Middle Belt regions has extended beyond land rights and has extended beyond economics. In 2016, when Chief Oluwalade was kidnapped in Ondo State by 6 herdsmen, these herdsmen did not ask for a Ministry of Livestock. These herdsmen did not ask for grazing rights. What did they ask for? 30 million naira. This has expanded into an issue of criminality and of ethno-religious violence throughout the region. And if anything, this new concentration of manpower, of skills, of resources will even further increase this crime spike. This is not a problem that can be solved by a Ministry of Livestock or any economic program at all by itself. This is a problem that requires the involvement of the Nigerian Armed Forces and Police Force. So, to put this to rest, in the words of the Punch editorial board, this whole scheme just looks like a scheme to pander to the northerners of Nigeria. In any case, even if it is a project intending to improve the lives of Nigerians and to improve the quality of livestock, it always looks better on paper. Welcome to the real world. Thank you.
Right on time. Right on time.
Thank you very much, Nigeria, for witnessing this debate between two brilliant minds, and that is in no doubt at all. Bedford Friday Fortune, 15 years of age, SS3 student of Carrington International Academy, Port Harcourt. Oluwalade Demilade, 15 years of age, SS3 student of Lead-Forte Gate College, Lagos. They've played their part. They have no say whatsoever in what happens next. We'll rely on our impartial set of judges. Thank you to every single one of them, from Chief Judge Chikengbadi Iche to Judge Amabasi Akove to Judge Elizabeth Michael, Judge Ufoma Egbamuno, and of course our Diction Judge Yvonne Okhaifo, who will now give both candidates a quick take on in fractions.
Just a moment.
Yeah, in a moment, I guess.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
In a moment, there will be, you'll have that while we collate everything that needs to be collated. It gives me an opportunity to say thank you to all our sponsors. We appreciate your continued support. To Obi Weezy, to Olaya Foods, Call to Fly, to Biloxi, and of course our host institution, Chrisland Schools. More on that in just a bit. Would also seize the opportunity perhaps to, when we can, take some of your comments via WhatsApp and other platforms, including the phone via phone calls. Feel free to let us know what you think. Remember, you get to vote on social media for either of these two debaters. Fortune is the young lady and Demilade is the young gentleman. Who impressed you the most? You can have your say. Remember too, we will determine not just who won this debate, but who of the two sets of debaters we've witnessed today was more impressive. It will form the ranking for round 1, and it will also affect the fixtures going into round 2. Don't forget as well that, sad as it may be, one of these two contestants you just heard will be adjudged loser of this debate. But that will still not be the end. The judges will then try to determine who of the two losing debaters on the day would get their overall wild card to progress to the next round. Having said that, Yvonne?
Well, much of my observation is targeted at
Fortune.
Fortune, yes, Fortune. You're quite an articulate speaker. I have to give that to you. Well done. Both of you are quite articulate. Great work. Great job there. But it is Food and Agricultural Organization. There is no S. Okay? Food and Agricultural Organization. There is no S. It is also, there's a difference between too much and too many. Okay? When you use much, you're referring to non-count nouns, like water, like rice. There's much rice in the pot, okay? Like bread, I have much bread left. But if you're counting in number, like loaves of bread, books, for instance, then you use many. So much is used with nouns that you cannot count, okay? You cannot exactly count. Many is used with nouns that you can count, okay? So while one is for non-count nouns, the other is for countable nouns, okay? So instead of saying the things that they have to do is too much, because you also said is when you should have said are, okay? You should have said the things they have to do are too many, okay? Because you can't count the things as you said. It is healthiness, okay? Healthiness. You said healthness. Healthiness. All right? You could have just said health. They both mean the same thing. They're both in the same class they're both in the same word class. So they're both nouns, okay? It is dairy, not diary. One time you said dairy, the other time you said diary. I just wasn't sure exactly what was. I understand the confusion because they're both almost spelled alike, but they have different meanings, okay? So it is dairy and then diary, as in your journal, okay?
I even caught it the first time. You didn't catch it. I made a note here, and then you caught it the second time she mentioned it.
It is dairy.
So it was, in between, but don't forget, it's dairy.
The other thing I'd like to point out is the difference between important and importance, okay? Importance is the noun. Important is the adjective. One describes the state of whatever it is you're talking about. The other describes one describes the state, which is the adjective. It is important. The other is that's the word I'm looking for that I cannot just quite place, okay? But importance refers to the relevance, okay? Important is the state of being relevant. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So one is an adjective, the other is a noun. Relevant, or rather in this case, important is the adjective. importance rather, is the now. Is that clear?
I will assume you already knew this, but maybe in the heat
of the moment,
scrutiny and the pressure of
Yes,
so
there's also
just pay attention to it.
Yeah, there's also one more thing I'd like to add, but I did not count it against you. But I'd just like to say that we use like I said, and then we use as I said, but one is more formal than the other. Okay, so as I said is more formal, which should have been more appropriate in this scenario, right? As opposed to like I said. Like I said is something you use with your peers, But I didn't count that against you, by the way, so don't worry about that one. You were trying to talk about the livestock sector, the livestock ministry, but you forgot to add the article. So I did catch the phrase beyond livestock sector was what you said when you meant to say beyond the livestock sector. Okay, when you should have used the article there. I believe I have it is contribute, not contribute. Okay, the emphasis is on contribute. Okay, it is husbandry, not husbandry. Husbandry. The emphasis is on okay, husbandry. Please pay attention to your subject-verb agreement. Okay, issues which settle. Subject-verb agreement. More than one issue. A plural verb. Issues. More than one issue. Plural verb. Issue. Singular verb. Okay, you did not do that, so I just have to. Well, Oluwalade, Demilade, I really have no correction to make with you. You were quite eloquent. You are quite the eloquent speaker, so I believe that is that about that.
I did point out something towards the end. Unfortunately, I didn't scribble down. I didn't scribble it. It beats me now. But to Yvonne's point, you're quite eloquent. You'll probably come before we end. Okay, so well done, both of you. I'd like to say, for the benefit of our judges as they collate, because I noticed one inquiry raised in a case where a contestant is adjudged not to have rebutted enough before going on to make more points. As has been pointed out, the penalty is that they don't make as much points as they would have made if they had done more rebuttals. It's that simple.
Yes, and I'd also like to point out that judges are judging based on not just the number of points made,
but also the quality.
The quality of the point
quality
made, okay?
The quality.
So keep that in mind as we hear the verdict.
So the quality. So again, remember, if you felt there could have been 5 points to be rebutted. Now, the candidates are not necessarily required to rebut every single point their opponents have made. No. However, they are to rebut. So even if a contestant does only one rebuttal, it means he agrees with every other thing, and he will be scored on that one rebuttal, whether it's 1 point or 2 points or 3 points or whatever, depending on the quality of the rebuttal itself. But no further penalties for not rebutting enough. And then you then go to the points, original points made, and score accordingly. That is for subsequent votes, subsequent debates. Yvonne, do we have?
Yes, we do, Femi. We do have both verdicts from the judges. Nigeria, we will take your results. We'll take the poll results after we hear the judges' verdict on the debates this evening. So fret not. We will come to your results in a bit. We'll come to your polls in a bit.
All right. So here's the final scorecard. For presentation, we have the following. I guess in view of our time, we'll keep it short. We have the we have all the individual votes and the total, but let me give you your result fortune. You scored a total from all the 4 debate judges. You scored a total of 69.5 in your presentation rounds. You scored 33 in your rebuttal rounds, and a total of 28 in your closing rounds. You hovered between 7.5 and 8.5 on each scorecard for your style, and it added up to 32 in total. And it gives you a total of 162.5 points for this debate. However, you suffered a diction infraction deduction of 5.5 points, which now brings your total from 162.5 points to 157 points. With love from Judge Yvonne.
Yes, with absolute love, okay? I have to say.
For Demilade, Judges Ama, Ufoma, Elizabeth, and Chief Judge Chike collectively gave you a total score of 58.5 points in your presentation rounds. Collectively, 56.5 points in your rebuttal rounds. You were really strong in your rebuttal. And for your closing, perhaps, yes, 40 points in total. 40 points in total. For your style ranged between 7 and 9.5. 7, 9, 8, and 9.5 for a total of 33.5, bringing your total to 186.5. But because you did not incur any diction infraction, that is your total, 186.5. So the final score is 157 points to Bedford Friday Fortune of Carrington International Academy, and 186.5 points to the winner, an automatic progressor to round 2, Lead-Forte Gate College's Oluwalade Demilade. Congratulations.
I would love to hear what he has to say to this, because the last time he sat here, Oluwalade said he would have loved to come back. I remember that clearly. He, when we opened the debate, he said he would love to have a pile of I Beg to Differ books on his shelf, just to show that he really did put in the work and he really did conquer. Unfortunately, he was knocked out by Claire Maker when they debated the topic on black tax. But how does it feel to sit here
and I remember the reason why that happened was that in his closing, he didn't make much in terms of
he didn't
individual
make as many points. Yes,
even though he had a brilliant closing argument.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I mean, this just feels like a full circle moment. What would you say to that? I mean, you're sitting here today. How does that feel?
I'm just so absolutely grateful to God to be here again today.
Right.
And so, no hard feelings towards Claire. We had a good time though.
Absolutely.
I'm sure she's very happy.
I'm sure she is.
Now that I have this chance, I've adjusted my strategy. I'm
Okay.
working harder. And I feel very good today.
And
right.
how about this? An additional information that you'll find interesting. So, you came in via the wildcard entry because Claire Maker was unavailable.
Look at that. That is exactly. That is so correct.
You literally took her place. So, beautiful. Congratulations.
Congratulations to you. But as you have said yourself, I'd like to also point out to you, you will go up against some really strong opponents. So you may want to, you're eloquent, no doubt, but you have to pace yourself in a way that you don't sound too preachy and you do not sound too fast. Okay? You have to find that balance and stay on that balance. Otherwise, if someone else is a more rapid speaker than you, they may likely, just because they're able to, squeeze in as many points and back up those points with facts, knock you out of the race. So you have to think about that.
Well,
okay?
The strategy is, you may pack the explanation of the points, make it shorter. Fortune, you are a brilliant, amazing debater. This has been my most difficult debate. 8 debates, and I can say after every one of the 7 previous debates, I automatically knew the winner. Automatically, without checking the scorecards. And I've been right 100% of the time. This was the one debate I had no clue where it was going to go. Because both of you were brilliant. I thought in terms of points, Fortune was leading. But in terms of overall, and I mean individual points. But you had a very strong rebuttal round, and I think
yes, he won on the strength of his rebuttal.
Your rebuttals, and it was Fortune's Achilles heel. She had a weak rebuttal round, and you did just enough in your rebuttal rounds
to come back.
You didn't get, that many points out in your presentation rounds, and these things happen. So brilliant debaters. At this point now, we wait. We'll soon have to tell you how the judges have determined who the strongest debater is.
Yes, and while we wait, I have to present the results from the previous debates, the results of the poll from the previous debates to you.
Brilliant.
So, 36% voted in favor of Handsome Emerald to win. And a whopping 64% voted in favor of Oguneye Ayomide to win.
In the earlier debate.
That's correct. And then, during this debate, 44% voted in favor of Fortune to win, and 56% voted in favor of Demilade to win.
Well within the margins. Huh?
Well, we're waiting. There are polls up now, so you can go and decide whom you think the judges will retain in the competition as the wild card between Fortune and the debater from earlier, Emerald. Okay, go and vote. When we come back from this very short break, we will take the poll results. Okay.
All right, I will use up that short break to say thank you very much to all our partners who continue to support this brilliant debate. Chrisland Schools, we appreciate you. They've been in the education business for nearly 5 decades. They've got 6 nursery and primary schools, 6 secondary schools, and a 6th form college and a university. And of course, amazing range of straight A's in local and global final exams. Thank you very much. Olaya Foods and Catering, partnering with us to keep our debaters refreshed, ensure they are fed and they don't starve to death struggling with the debates, and also staying with us for those debaters from out of Lagos who've had to be housed during the period of these debates. All kinds of local delicacies with outlets at Lekki, VI, Surulere and Ikeja, and you can also order online. Also to Biloxi for pitching in with some refreshment, an impressive range of cookies and pastries. Call to Fly, thank you very much for flying some of our students from out of Lagos for the national finals. And of course, Obi Weezy, long-standing partner of I Beg to Differ, your plug for all kinds of gadgets. So let's do this now. We have hit 6 o'clock. We got to go. Can we see the results for the...
The judges have sent in the final decision, and here we see that they have decided that Oluwalade Demilade is the best winner from both debates, from the debates of yesterday and the debate of today. So, second best
would then be Oguneye. So your debate as the champion will be at p.m.
Yes.
3 p.m. on Tuesday.
And your opponent will be the wild card from yesterday, Delight. Okay? You will get your topic just before we go. And you will support the motion. Okay? Your side is the supporting side. So when you get the topic, you just go and prepare to support the motion. Your opponent will oppose the motion. Okay? Now,
so that exercise had been done yesterday.
Yes.
Oppose or support. So your opponent had picked the. When I say picked, we put support and oppose in 2 pieces of paper, and he picked the one that said oppose. So you will be supporting whatever the topic is.
By the way, Nigeria, we have the result from the poll on whom you think the judges will save as the wild card in this debate. We will take that as soon as we take the judges' verdict on the wild card. And we see here that all 4 judges, all 5 judges, why do I keep forgetting that I am a judge as well?
So, yes, we have a unanimous decision.
It is unanimous.
Unanimous decision as to the wild card for today's debate. So congratulations to you. Fortune, Bedford Friday Fortune. You will go into the next round of the debate, and you will go up against the strongest debater from yesterday in the next round. That would be, if I'm not mistaken,
the strongest debater.
Oh, hold on. That means the strongest debater from yesterday goes up against
Minanengyo Fori David will go up against you, and
at 3
o'clock.
That means the
your debate is at 4 o'clock.
4 o'clock.
So let's be clear. Fortune, you are going to meet the best winner from yesterday, Minanengyo Fori David, and you will oppose the motion.
Oppose.
Okay, you will oppose the motion. So when you get your topic, just go and prepare to oppose the motion. Demilade, you will have your debate at 4 o'clock. Okay, on Tuesday, 4 p.m. And as I said earlier, you will support the motion. And that will leave Ajekigbe Mercy, living Ajekigbe Mercy, and Ogunaye Ayomide, the second best winners, will debate. They will debate at 5 o'clock on Tuesday.
Yeah, very, very clear.
Yes, and now to the results from Facebook and YouTube. Well, from, I beg your pardon, from X and YouTube. Well, on X, 67% voted in favor of Emerald to be the wild card, and 33% voted in favor of Fortune. And then on, I do not understand what this is. Just a moment. I do not think this is valid.
Okay.
That's not valid. So this is the poll from X. That's the only poll we have at the moment. I guess that's what we have right now.
Okay.
We're going to stick.
All right. We know where to go next week. Remember, there will be no debates tomorrow. There will be a review of the week we have experienced. Join us at 3 p.m. for that review tomorrow. You'll hear the voices of all 16 contestants you've heard today. Sadly, we have to say a very, very regrettable farewell to our debater, Handsome Emerald, who fell short just slightly in the end. But the rest of the three of Demilade, Oluwalade, Ayomide, Ogunaye, and of course Fortune, Bedford Friday, will progress next week. We start on Monday. Remember, on Monday and Tuesday, there will be 3 debates.
Correct.
3 debates. The debate will start not at 4 p.m., but at 3 p.m. Set your alarms so you don't miss the brilliance. And remember, the topmost debaters will commence at 3 p.m. The top debaters of each of the 4 days you've seen so far will commence at 3. You do not want to miss that.
Absolutely do not want to do that.
Special thanks to all our partners and sponsors: Obiwizi, Chrisland Schools, Olaya Foods, Call to Fly, and Biloxi. I beg to differ. Students Debate, the National Tournament of Champions, is produced by Sheriff Quadri, ably assisted, a lot of work going into it, by Yvonne Okhaifo. Onyeka Eledan has been in charge of our sound production throughout it. Babatunde Abdul Salam has led our digital broadcast team, ensuring you get to watch, to have this debate streamed live. This debate is live on multiple stations, and also our sister station, Kids FM, is also joining our Nigeria Info station.
May I please take a brief moment to address comments here from someone that says, Yvonne, don't you think your correction is too much? The young lady will feel embarrassed. She is my candidate. Well, thank you very much for sharing that point. But I beg to differ. Is not just about the debate. It is about the wholesome learning opportunity that it affords everyone on here, okay? Everyone here in the competition. And this correction isn't just targeted at one debater. It goes to it has so far gone to every other debater. And I do not think that just because this debater is your candidate, that she should get, any special treatment. She is, after all, still a student. And as a student, she needs to learn.
No doubt. Special thanks also to the rest of our crew, to our content and creative team of Olamide Fadoju, Kenneth Odueme, and Samuel Iwuji. Special thanks to Gabriella Daniel, who led the Port Harcourt zone debaters down here, our colleague, and also to Emmanuel Elefizi Abimbola with the Abuja zonal debaters. Special thanks to Prince Aboki Daniel, who is director of programs for our group of radio stations, and of course Carl Orakwe, who directs affairs in Port Harcourt for Nigeria Info. I'm Femi Obong-Daniels. On behalf of everybody else who continues to make this work, and the most important piece of the puzzle, you, our esteemed listening audience, thank you for all your support. We haven't been able to take a lot of your comments. Please forgive us. We'll do better in round 2.
Absolutely. Please remember to follow I Beg to Differ on Instagram, okay? Nigeria Info, I Beg to Differ at Nigeria Info IBTD. Go there, follow the handle, and of course you will get content from the debate throughout the duration of the tournament.
Join Yvonne and of course Marianne for the review tomorrow.
That's correct.
And I'll return with Yvonne on Monday as this debate continues.
Well, until then, it is bye for now, and thank you so much for being here.
Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.